Hello. Today I want to talk about structuring your drawing continuing education. So, I'm not sure how many people know about the word continuing education. There are actually some jobs that require continuing education, and basically what that is you have to be taking some type of courses in your area of expertise, and you kind of have to like report it to some entity out there to show that you're still learning and you're still uh, becoming, well, adding on to your mastery of your field. There are some cases in which like this is probably not required as much. I would think like in the medical field, because so many people will, hey, what they do, well, their job is what they do every day, or perhaps maybe they probably do need it. I'm probably dead wrong, but the point here is they always have to be learning more in their field, and perhaps a new breakthrough comes about, perhaps a new method of doing what they do on a daily basis comes out. Perhaps their field is moving more towards using like robots. I know that like they're using certain robots to do surgery instead of people because of the high level of accuracy the robots can get compared to people. You know, certain people, if it's like an extremely important thing, you want a robot to do it. Uh, Not every medical procedure, but probably some. I would also think that like there are also like some places where touching chemicals, like if you can get a robot to do it, let's say there are dangerous chemicals. Well, if you can get a robot to do it, then like, that's the best thing in the world. No one has to. There doesn't have to be any potential uh, for someone getting hurt. So, on that tangent, in drawing, it doesn't really seem like there's any type of continuing education. I mean, as long as you draw on a day-to-day basis, I think you'll be good. But perhaps you do want to be trying to expand your knowledge in some way. And I think it's always kind of difficult to really do that because, like, who do you go to ask for this information? Because they're like the basic concepts, but I feel like everything after that, you really have to hunt around for good information. Like, I know there are many good books out there, and I think you can get a lot of good information from books. But I think the ultimate thing is having a mentor of some sort. And I'm not saying they have to look at every single piece of work that you do, but I always felt like a mentor, if you had some type of mentor, or perhaps people out there that can help you in some way or give feedback, that could also be a good substitute for it. Well, not a substitute. I mean, you could always try to take drawing classes as well, but one of the downsides to that is that it may cost money. Sometimes a lot of money. Sometimes the course may not cost that much money, but the supplies they require you to buy may be a bit pricey. I mean, definitely worth it if you want to keep developing yourself, but it's ultimately like up to you. There are other things you could listen to. You could listen to podcasts if you want to do that. You'd really have to just kind of hunt around and find something, and sometimes they may talk about some topic you may be interested in, and usually through that they may recommend some type of classic book. I always thought a lot of the books that Dover has are pretty good, or the Dover series. I don't know, it's something like that. They have a lot of classics that I think, like, a lot of them may fall into public domain. Please don't quote me on that, but, something like that. Now, the other thing is, if you have a job, you know, learning on the job is one of those things that make work very confusing. You see, I was actually talking to my uncle the other day about that, and like, what he does is he's a contractor, so like when they charge stuff, well, they charge a day rate. But if you think of day rate, it's basically like it's kind of a lot like salary, except it's a contractor. So I mean, in its simplest terms, it's basically like hourly is how I would think of it. I could be wrong on that. I'm pretty sure the legal terms are different, but it all has to do with like hour pricing, because in the end, at the end of a month, if you're a contractor and you make money, you take up all the hours you worked, divide, or and you take your money and divide it up by all the hours you work to get how much money an hour you're making. And I think kind of an issue that you run into is if you're learning something really new, well, that's something you never did before. And I think with drawing, as time marches on and you're drawing a ton, your drawing confidence increases. But there are so many things to draw that I found it to be just so baffling. Like if you draw leaves, like if you draw a leaf and it takes you like 5 minutes to draw that leaf. Well, who's to say if you draw like a different type of leaf, like an ivy? If I could think of it, I really can't think of an ivy. But if you were, let's say, like, someone tells you to draw a leaf. Here's my bad ivy. I can't even think of an ivy. But if someone tells you to draw some other type of leaf, it's gonna be a lot like learning something new. So the benefit to that is, yes, you're learning something new, but it may not take you the same amount of time, which can be a potential downside if you rely on your hours, because in that event it may take you even longer, so you may be making less based on your pricing. But the point I'm trying to say here is that at least you could fit in learning on the job, because on the job you may not have time to read like a book of some sort, or to like take some type of class, or like a lot of universities may offer classes. They may offer like some type of like figure drawing or something like that, or a still life class. Another good source of information, I would say, like blog websites. There are some people out there who have really good blog websites with information that could really help you. I feel like more often than not, though, videos. That's where it's at. Personally, I make a lot of videos. I hope they're of okay quality. I always do worry about that, because I do a lot of this stuff when I'm a bit exhausted. But ultimately, I think videos are one of those mediums that are just ultimate, because you could draw along with them, you could pause them. It's live instruction. I think there's enough time for you to absorb all the concept. It's not like a class in which you have to be paying attention for every second. The other thing is, I always recommend studying for 25 minutes, then taking a 5-minute break. Pomodoro method. You can find my video on it if you want to, or you can Google it if you want to. But that's the benefit that you can do with a video. You really can't do that with a with a class. If you tell an art instructor, okay, pause, they're just gonna be pissed off at you. It's not really gonna bode well with them, sadly. So, the other information. So I mentioned podcasts, websites, university courses, live sessions. You could also join a drawing club. I think having a sense of community these days is extremely important. So even surrounding yourselves with those types of people could be very beneficial. I have a lot of friends who are in the tech world, and they're always doing something in the tech world. And whenever I'm around them, they always want to talk tech, which I like. It's okay. So the people you surround yourself with, you could always learn a lot from them. Every company is different, but you will eventually notice some similarities. So that is another benefit from talking to people in real life. I'm pretty sure there are other types of things like online chats. I keep thinking of like Discord. I don't have any of my own servers. I think it's too much to maintain with stuff like that. I'm a member of a couple Discord servers. I really haven't used them for a long time. They were all for drawing, so like I think one of them was for this drawing course I took a while back, Drawbox, and like yeah, I do look at the Drawbox one quite frequently. But I'm a member of a bunch of other Discords that I never go to. So, like, I don't know. I was kind of, like, invited to a bunch of them. I don't mean to sound rude, but I mostly just used a Drawbox one when I can. There are other things which I have to say I wouldn't recommend. Nothing against them, but, like, when it comes to things like Twitter... Oops, I just spit on my monitor. When I think of things like Twitter, Instagram, it can be very hard to find the information that you once looked at. I think the benefit of, like, all this other stuff that I mentioned is the fact that you could usually find it again. But usually when it comes to, like, these things, it can be difficult to find it again. I mean, I know Facebook has, like, Facebook groups. I never use them, but they do have, like, a little sense of community with those. But, like, these things are a bit difficult for finding information. Like, I think in one point in time you were able to find information on it because it was kind of just a lot of these things were kind of more open. People were sharing information a lot more. I think it was, like, a little bit more discoverable in the search results. You didn't have to, like, log in. I mean, I'm not, like you know, every platform has their controversies, but it could just be a bit difficult to find information you were once looking for. Personally, I always thought that, like, a lot of these things, I would say Reddit would fall in there as well. Like, it's extremely difficult. I feel like algorithms kind of make you hunt around for information just to, like, serve you another ad. You know, here's another ad on a platter. You know, but, you know, I know a lot of these platforms, like, you know, a lot of these things, you know, they go both ways when it comes to their advertisements. But, yeah, I think all these other methods, like, are a bit better for actually finding information so you can structure yourself. I think the other important thing is you always want to be looking... you want to be planning for, like, okay, what could I do next in the future? Like, I'm not saying plan out too far in advance, but do try to have some structure for yourself. Because I think having structure, committing to it every day, drawing like hell every day is important because it gets you in that flow and it gets you used to tackling the unknown. So it's important to tackle the unknown. Because by tackling the unknown constantly, you don't get used to it, but you eventually have a set of tools for... Well, you pretty much get a set of tools for the known, and it can help you with the unknown. So, yeah, it really helps you break things down more. In another video, I kind of talked about a lot of things, you know, in the whole realm of drawing, things that you could learn. But, you know, just make sure you're always trying to work on your continuing education, because, like I said, in drawing, I feel like the only indicator you're going to get that you need continuing education may be like a critique or a comment or a feedback from someone else, and you know, it may kick your ass a bit. I mean, I have, so you know, it's happened to me in which I need a kick in the ass. I've gotten many kicks in the ass, but the point of it is, I feel like we should always be trying to improve. I'm not saying do nothing but education when it comes to drawing, but don't undervalue the importance of it. You know, I feel like there's always some bit that you can strive for to improve. So yeah, if you have a question, please ask in the comments. If you like the video, please like it, and if you like my channel, please subscribe to it. Thank you for listening. Bye.